So after basic examination, basic investigation, now we are able to conclude whether the problem is with the semen, problem is with the tubes, problem is with the uterus, problem is with the ovulation disturbances, or maybe some uterine problem. After concluding the etiology of the infertility, potential cause of infertility, those who are curable medically or surgically should be cured. And natural trial after alleviating these problems should be given to the patient for next 6 months. If she is not conceived in 6 months, then some active treatment is required. And there are certain cases which are called unexplained infertility. Now normally, if there is no obvious reason found, it is said that it is unexplained infertility. In other field of the medicine, if there is no cause found, the doctor becomes happy, okay, there is no problem, with time everything will be settled. But which is not true with the infertility. Whenever there is no cause found, we as an infertility specialist are not happy, because these are most difficult to treat cases, because there are certain hidden causes which are not detected with the routine examination and routine investigation. And results with the simpler kind of treatment of infertility, unexplained infertility, are not good. So ultimately, the advanced assisted reproductive technology has to be used for such type of the cases. So, according to the causes, we have to treat the patients. Now, broadly speaking, after removing the cause with the medical help or surgical help, now patient, whenever we want to start the treatment, we normally have 3 options for the treatment for the patient. One is the starting treatment. With starting treatment, we give certain medicine to enhance the egg number, which is an induction of the ovulation. So that is called controlled ovarian stimulation, in which we give some medicine which will stimulate the ovary to produce some extra eggs. We will monitor whether these eggs are growing or not by doing sonography, serial transvaginal sonography, which is called follicle study. And at correct time, when eggs are formed, either we will advise the patient for the timed intercourse. We will advise the patient for particular intercourse on particular time, provided the sperm quality is absolutely good. If it is not good, then we have to take the option of the we have to take second option, that is intrauterine insemination. So in first option, controlled ovarian stimulation with timed intercourse. The success of the controlled ovarian stimulation with timed intercourse is approximately 7%, 7 to 8%. That is 7 to 8 couple out of 100 couples who are under treatments are benefited when we advise controlled ovarian stimulation with timed intercourse. Now, if this, after trying for 4 to 6 cycles of controlled ovarian stimulation with timed intercourse, that is starter treatment, if patient is not conceived, then we can resort to a second modality of the treatment, that is controlled ovarian hyperstimulation with IUI, intrauterine insemination. In this treatment, we give little harder doses of the stimulant drugs. We intend to have at least 2-3 eggs at least. We monitor though by doing follicle study, and at particular time, once the eggs are prepared, we induce the ovulation by ovulation trigger, that is some injection, and that after a particular time, we ask the husband to deposit the semen. Once the semen is deposited, we wash the semen, we remove the impurities, we separate good quality sperms from abnormal sperms and other debris and other impurities, and that concentrated sperm we transfer into a uterine cavity, which nearly doubles the success rate of the infertile patient. So this is the second modality of the treatment where there is the semen quality is compromised when the first treatment, milder treatment, has not become successful. These are the cases where this second modality can be useful. The approximately success rate of controlled ovarian hyperstimulation with IUI is somewhere around 12 to 18%. That means if this second modality has to work, the patient has to try for at least 4 to 6 months. 90% of the cases where second modality of the treatment has to be successful become successful within 3 or 4 months only. After trying, so that is the reason if there is no ovulation disturbances in all other cases of unexplained infertility, second modality of the treatment should be tried for at least 4 times. And if there is a ovulation disturbances, you may try, for a couple of times more, that is 6 to 7 times. If this has not been successful, then the last and final resort will be a IVF. It is not necessary, please remember, it is not necessary to go for milder treatment, then medium treatment, and then for IVF. No. That entirely depends on your mindset, your age, that is age of the wife, what are the problems, because the husband's semen is very poor. Suppose the tubes are badly damaged. Suppose the ovulation disturbances are severe. These are the cases where the other treatments are likely to fail. So in such cases, as advanced age and in the tubal problem, the IVF should be a first choice. In unexplained infertility, as I mentioned earlier, the success rate of other treatment than IVF is never more than 12 to 18%. IVF is most successful treatment in unexplained infertility. The success rate is somewhere around 30 to 40%. So, it all depends on your mindset and especially age of the woman, because age definitely carries a significance. After 30 years of the age, as per the Western data, Indian data, I would say it is after 26 years of age. 26 years of age, the air quality starts deteriorating. In Indian woman, after 30 years, from 30 to 35 years, air quality tremendously starts diminishing. And after 34 or 35 years, in Indian woman scenario, it becomes really difficult to conceive with her own eggs. The data of Western countries are different, and data of Indian women are different. That is the reason the Indian woman should be more cautious and more alert to resort to a higher ART technique, assisted reproductive techniques like IVF.